And for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by Vincent Bababoutilabo. Excuse me, I knew I'd mess up your name. Bababoutilabo, an activist and a musician. He's an activist with the Campaign for Black People in Germany, it's called, and you live in Leipzig and Berlin. Thanks for being with us this morning, Vincent.
Thanks for having me.
Now, today is the UN's International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. Do you see any signs of racism being eliminated?
Well, eliminated is a strong word, but I do actually see signs of it. I don't know if you remember 2015 when the first big wave of refugees arrived in Germany. There were like thousands of people organizing themselves to help, quote-unquote, help them, organizing German classes, organizing the housing. So I already hear my colleagues saying, but there was a huge deal of paternalism and like a white savior complex, which is true. But I do see this period really as sort of cracks in the racist system in Germany, and it begins to crumble. What we need to do now is sort of combine the cracks and smash it.
Okay, so obviously eliminating racism completely is not a realistic goal, but fighting it is certainly a worthy thing to be doing. Now, there's an anti-racism rally scheduled for later today here in Berlin. The slogan for this rally translates as confront all types of racism. What can protests like that achieve?
Well, actually quite a lot, I think. What we need now, especially with the rise of right-wing populism in Germany, is more people saying no to racism. It sounds like simple, but it's a very important thing to do. Like I remember Angela Davis saying, it's not enough to be non-racist. In a racist society, you have to be anti-racist. So we all living in this society, living in Europe, have to develop an anti-racist attitude.
Okay, so not just being non-racist, but anti-racist. That's a good distinction. Now, you were born here in Berlin to German Congolese parents, but you often get treated as a foreigner here in Germany. How does that work? How does it make you feel?
Well, not very good, I can tell you that, but it depends. You know, certainly all my life I've been positioned outside of German society, not being a part of it. But still, I have a German passport, so I'm relatively privileged. My German is also very good. And
your English is good too.
Thanks. Thanks. So, of course, that doesn't make me feel so good, but this is not the main issue for me. It also saves me from becoming a huge nationalist, or I don't know. This is not the huge issue. With my anti-racist struggle, and we also from the ISD, this initiative for Black people in Germany, we really want to fight for the people, especially Black people, but all people, migrants, refugees, without rights in the German society.
Now, I understand you wrote a master's thesis on the representation of Black people in German school books. What did you find out doing that?
Well, that there are still huge basically colonial continuities within school books, in the German music education context. Just one or two quick examples. More than 85% of Black people being shown from the African continent were shown almost naked and banging the drum in the jungle, of course. This is like a very well-known colonial cliches, but I think it's a sign that Germany really has to do more in confronting also the colonial history.
Old cliches or stereotypes are hard to get rid of, yeah. Now, you went to the university in the eastern German city of Leipzig. That's in the state of Saxony, where, as some of our viewers might know, the right-wing Alternative for Germany and the anti-immigrant Pegida movement are very strong. How has that affected your life? Do you still feel at ease in Leipzig?
Well, I do feel at ease in Leipzig. I mean, I lived there for 10 years. And I mean, yes, there's a huge rise of right-wing nationalist sentiment, and I could, of course, feel it almost every day. I mean, I even have a beard, so a lot of people think that I'm a Muslim and treat me according to their racist feelings towards Muslim people. But still, as I mentioned earlier, there are especially in Leipzig, where I live, a lot of people saying no to racism and organizing themselves in the anti-racist struggle.
As a musician, you tour quite a bit,
I do, yeah.
also in Eastern Germany. I know some other musicians who've toured in Eastern Germany and have, and they're not even black, but have suffered a lot of discrimination just because they don't speak the language the way people there do. Have you experienced a lot of racism in Eastern Germany yourself, personally?
Yeah, I mean, especially touring through smaller towns or even some villages was at times difficult. I mean, I've been slapped in the face in Dresden for apparently well, the reason was racism, but I mean, yeah. So at times it was very difficult, but still, especially with my project, this band called The Syndicate, we sort of also have a lot of like anti-racist lyrics, and we're trying to challenge, for example, colonialism and the German colonial history. And people are willing to engage in the conversation. Not always, of course. You'll always have like the old guy in the corner shouting racist stuff. But I mean,
racism does persist.
Yeah.
Vincent, thank you so much. Vincent Bababoutilabo from the Campaign for Black People in Germany. I think I got your name right. Thank you so much for talking with us today on DW News.
Thank you for having me.